Good morning, fam, and happy Saturday. Our latest will be about the ANC Youth League leader as well as Julius Malema and former President Jacob Zuma. Let's follow up on that. ANC Youth League elected its new leadership this past weekend after years and years of having no leaders, the years and years of having no functional youth league. Their new president, Colin Malachi, took a swipe at Malema this past weekend. In the next slide, listen to what he said about it. Malema also responded to that, and the video will also be in the next slide. Malema also addressed the issue of Zuma's arrest, and it seems like that issue is really paining him. Listen to all the clips in the next slide and let us know of your take regarding this. And that's all we have for now. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see you again in the next update. Bye.
Malema was fired for economic freedom. Not true. It's a lie. It's a lie. That must be clarified. He was fired for ill discipline. He was fired for contravening the constitution of the ANC and the Youth League. He wanted to create a Youth League to be a cult organization that belongs to him, like the EFF. Then the EFF there, no matter how educated you are, you can't even speak. Educated doctors, they run around with water everywhere. Now here in the ANC, you are allowed to bring your views. That's why in the ANC we have got policy conferences, we have got NGCs, we have got meetings, platforms, we have got BGMs. Everyone, we even went further during the local government elections to open up our candidacy to communities. That is the ANC, it's not a cult organization. That's why everyone who wants to form, who behave like cult, we expel them in the ANC. When they try to form their own organization, people move away from them. Julius is popular on Twitter. If we can do a Twitter vote, according to Twitter, Julius will be the president of the country today. But our communities of the country reaffirms that the ANC is the only parliament of the people. And the ANC is the first organization to acknowledge its mistakes and problems.
You can't say you knew me from Twitter in 2010. I didn't have Twitter in 2010. Because someone had, so this Twitter account of mine was a parody account. And then Floyd said to me, I know the person who's running that parody account in 2013 when we were forming the EFF. So we realized we're going to need that account. So we met the guy and then we had a discussion with him. He voluntarily handed over the account because he said he was also worried that since we're no longer participating in the Youth League, what is he going to do with the account? And it has got so many followers. That's when he gave the account to me. But in 2010, it had 300,000 followers. It's now sitting at 4 million, if I'm not wrong. I was not on Twitter. I never had a Facebook account in my entire life. So I'm not big on social media. So I don't know why would I qualify to be Mr. Twitter, because even now I don't tweet a lot. I just retweet. From time to time I'll tweet. And when I tweet, everything else must stop so that the tweet can have analysts. Imagine men and women leaving their homes to come and analyze their tweets on national TV. So my history is there. I mean, the reason why I was not active on social media, I was a ground force. I was active on the ground. I've always been in COSAS, in the Youth League, in the ANC, in the EFF. So, and therefore, I can't even recite cardinal pillars for you, because you must just go to all the videos of Julius Malema. Before we termed them 7 cardinal pillars, we spoke about them. And then these kids who say these things are theirs, you look at when did Julius Malema say this, and then you look at the age of that child who says he owns the cardinal pillars. For sure, when we were making utterances about expropriation of land without compensation, nationalization of mines, free quality education, and all of that, for sure they did not even have an ID. Some of them, they were too young to have an ID. The things that we said long time ago, some person without an ID at that time claims those things belong to them. We radicalized the Youth League. You go and not too far, just go and listen to my speech of the 2011, both the opening and the closing address of the 2011 Youth League conference, and then go and ask these ones who say those are their things, how old were you in 2011? Then you will know who's lying about those things. But we don't own them. These are the demands of our people. They belong to a generation of economic freedom fighters. It's a generational clarion call. And therefore, these economic freedom fighters are found both in the EFF and the ANC and everywhere else in society. We still have men who are trapped, by the way, in the ANC, who are completely EFF, in blood, in soul, in action. But the stomach is refusing them to leave. What is difficult is the stomach. But they belong there. As I speak now, some of them are chasing their children away, or you are making noise. They are listening as we speak now. And they are wearing ANC regalia as they are listening. Because they know where they belong. So you can't do anything with the politics of the stomach. We'll have nothing to offer them if they come here, and they know. That's why they like, we are there, but for some reason you know why we are still here. So anyone who says expropriation of land without compensation belongs to them is true. It's theirs. Let them own it in as much as we own it. It's like a person saying to you, this struggle song is ours. No. No one owns the struggle song. No one has ever sat down to write a struggle song. Many of these struggle songs, by the way, come from the church songs. So a person just wake up one morning and say, yeah, that's our song. That's our song. You can hear this one is intellectually challenged. You cannot own the demand of the land. It belongs to Sebokwe in the same way it belongs to Dube. So no one owns the demand for land. It belongs to the black people who suffered from land dispossession. And all we do, and the EFF documents don't lie. People must read. They say, we inherited this struggle from those who came before us. We are not the originators of this struggle. And standing before you here, we don't claim to own the intellectual properties of the struggle for economic emancipation. It belongs to the people. Let the people own it. So really, that's all we have to say. But all we are saying is that the EFF, after all of this was dumped in a dustbin by the former liberation movement, we went, took it out of the dustbin, cleaned it up, and continued the struggle. Many of them were ashamed to even mention the Freedom Charter. The most neutral document that is wishy-washy, they still don't want to mention it. Can you imagine the 1949 program of action? Some of them don't even know it. That's why they can't mention it. So all we did was to say, but that generation of Sebokwe, Mkolis Majombozi, Mda, and Lembede, Sisulu, Tambo, Mandela, that generation had a clear mission of radicalizing the struggle of South Africa from a struggle of deputation into a struggle of mass action and international solidarity. So why should we abandon that? Because to abandon that will be to betray that which this comrade stood for. That's why you see that radicalism alive today is because we owe it to generations before us. And that's what makes all of us proud, that the EFF has continued with the generational struggle. And on the 29th of July, we are going to be celebrating that we defeated the ideological and psychological onslaught on black people who were meant to feel sorry and to apologize for their demands. At some point, no one could mention land. It was a taboo. And that's what we are celebrating on the 29th of July. That's why someone says to me, yeah, you and Mzwanele Manye, you were calling each other names, now you are together. Okay, why don't you say me and Mzwanele Manye were agreeing when he was a BMF president and I was in the Youth League about the radical economic transformation? Because we were together, we were pushing it together at that time. And then we come to disagree on some technical issue, not on a fundamental political ideological perspective. On a technical issue, man, Manyi, this Gupta man, ungatu zomosha manyara when we born wait. That's that. It is not ideological. Show me and Manyi where we disagreed ideologically from where we come from when he was in the BMF and I was in the Youth League to where we are now. We disagreed on one issue which we said anyway, even about President Zuma, that Zuma is not our enemy. It's an irritation that is distracting us from engaging the actual enemy. We even designed a song that time when we were fighting Zuma. We said, Zuma sukendleleni silwa namabun, asilinwa we silwa namabun. We said that during that time, but because people were hearing other things they wanted to hear, they didn't hear when we were saying, but this Zuma is not a strategic opponent. There is this issue we are disagreeing with Zuma on, and we settled it the way we settled it. We have moved past that. Gayton Mackenzie, the prisoner, said it even at that time, the ex-convict. And these people are not hearing this Malema. He says the actual enemy is white monopoly capital. When he's done with Zuma, he's coming for you. You guys, can't you hear what this guy is saying? He was saying that in the negative, not that he was agreeing with me, but he was able to hear us even at that time. These people are saying Zuma is not the enemy. The enemy is white capital. So Zuma was just an irritating issue that we dealt with, is done. Today when you see me and President Mbeki, it's like we never had disagreements, because I never wished him a grave. I disagreed with him on this, but no one has ever said, yeah, now look, he's laughing with Mbeki. I must not laugh with Zuma, because that is the enemy which I must chase according to the white capitalist agenda to the grave. I mean, when they arrested Zuma, Zuma presided over a regime that took everything from me, took my houses, threw me to the street, expelled me from the Youth League. But the day they arrested him, I was pained like they arrested my father. What do you do? Why would you do such a thing? What type of resolving political differences is this? One day when I'm 60 plus, I will tell you how I tried to rescue him out of prison. Out of prison. Because my disagreement with him was never personal. It has always been political. Therefore, you can't use any of the things that happened to me personally to then want to justify why I must disagree with Zuma now, politically. I hold no grudge against no man. And I know for a fact that nothing happens coincidentally in politics. Zuma, with all what he did for us and all of that, thanks to him, 10 years down the line, we've got a formidable organization called the EFF. Not everything out of a bad situation will come out bad. The good came out of those actions. Do we still want to go back there 10 years ago? Don't we have current challenges now of electricity, of ESCOM that is dysfunctional? Instead of paying attention to ESCOM, to the high levels of unemployment, to the high levels of crime, people are still reminding us of Zuma. Ours with Zuma is not an obsession. Our matter with Zuma is finished, is done. And then when we drink tea with him and something is itching on your heart, it's your own problem. Leave us alone. We are not part of those problems. Don't involve us. So, South Africa, fighters, everyone with a car, everyone with a kombi, everyone with a buggy, truck, anything in good condition, put our people inside that. Let's go and celebrate 10 years of unbroken struggle. They